Greetings people, it's Jared here, Wolfgang1, back to do another Transformers review. So, I ended up buying some Legacy figures, which that wasn't my plan. I wasn't really interested in the line, but I saw a couple of things cheap, and I thought, do you know what, sod it, let's push the boat out and see what's on offer. So, this week I'm taking a look at a figure that's probably about a year old now. I think it came out in Wave 1. And it mildly surprised me, although it does have a few flaws. So ladies and gentlemen, please sit down and enjoy the review for Transformers Legacy Kickback. Okay, so here is Legacy at Kickback in his box. I just want to get this out of the way now. I appreciate what Hasbro's trying to do with the, we're going to protect the environment and there's going to be less packaging and that. I would say maybe think of some other way of saving the planet, because these boxes are flimsy as shit. And well, when I bought this, the box was already damaged. There's no plastic part just here, so you can fuck around with the figure, and makes the whole being able to swap out parts or steal figures probably that much more easier. I appreciate, you know, your holier than now approach to trying to save the world, but really this is not the way to do it. This is fucking flimsy as all fuck. I got this reduced from TK Maxx of $12.99. I bought him and Dragstrip together. I wasn't really thinking of getting any Legacy in that, but I was in there buying a pair of shoes and just went, oh fuck, Legacy figures reduced, all right. Certainly wasn't planning on getting Stunticons, and now I've got two, but I digress. Kickback here is he's really well sculpted. He's a bit of a bastard in either mode really, because the limbs are kind of a bit loose, so trying to set him in any particular pose and that is a bit tricky, especially in his insect mode, and I can't get him to sit straight. I mean, if you check out the gallery that I've put on Facebook, you'll see exactly what I mean. So yeah, there's not really a hell of a lot to say about Kickback. I mean, the artwork on the side is decent enough, no blurb at all, so they're taking to saving the planet by not printing anything on the box about the character. They're taking a step forward there, ladies and gentlemen. And he comes with a couple of extra accessories that his original G1 self didn't. Now, I don't own any other version of Kickback except the G1. But for the most part, the transformation is almost identical. There's a couple of like hidden little things that the original didn't have, which is a nice touch, but at the same time, you didn't need to do it really. But apart from that, he is mostly just an upscaled version of the original, which I will come on to in a little bit. But yeah, that's Kickback in his box. There's fuck all to say about it. Let's get on and show the figure itself and the accessories. Okay, so here's Kickback in his alt mode, which is like, I don't know, some sort of a grasshopper or a fly or something. I don't know, I've never really paid attention, to be honest. He looks pretty much like he did in the 1980s. There's very little to say really it's anything new and exciting. There are some pros and cons to this mode. Before I get on to that, let me just show you some of the things that Kickback came with here. Comes with stuff that I can drop on the floor, which is fucking always good. So one instruction booklet. To be honest, the instruction booklet for this guy is kind of null and void. Don't really need it, because the transformation is piss weak really. It's really simple. It's a bit like, do you remember when I did my my Kingdom Inferno review and I said that the transformation was basically almost completely identical? Well, that's kind of the feeling here with Kickback, with like sort of an extra step for just like, oh, look what we did there, just to make it interesting. So that's the instruction booklet. He comes with two of these, which the original never, which I guess these are energy blades or weapons or some shit like that. They can fit onto his arms or onto his wings, which I'll show in a minute. And he comes with one little gun here, which is very much reminiscent of his original G1 gun, like a little Tommy gun with like the barrel, not the barrel, the mag extender sort of thing, just like that. So like a little Tommy gun. So kind of makes his original G1 self look even more like a little punk. So that's quite interesting. But you know, that's all that Kickback came with. Let's have a look now at the modern incarnation, if you will. So you know, he's pretty cool. I mean, he looks exactly like Kickback, which is cool. And no frills, no like sort of trying to do anything new, which is I guess kind of a blessing and a curse, really. The main issue here is doesn't matter where I put him, the back of him wants to fucking do its own thing because there's no way to tab this in. It would have been nice if there had been panels here that you flipped up and just connected that back piece together. Because every time I turn him around or I pose him, look, it's like he wants to just collapse and sort of the arms come out here, like sort of this, for example. I'm guessing that's for articulation. It's nothing to do with the transformation, but it fucking makes things difficult if you're trying to like sort of pose him in insect mode, which is almost fucking impossible. So that's very much to its detriment. Now, when I picked up Kickback, the head, as you can see here, is really, 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 really loose. And there was 3 other Kickbacks on the shelf, and I put my hand in the packaging and I wiggled the head, and every single one of them had exactly the same problem. So I don't know if that's an issue with Kickback in general or just the batch that TK Maxx managed to get in on the cheap. The wings are sculpted lovely. With the original was just like sort of chrome wings with a little bit of metallic detail. These have got all this like sort of, I don't know what you call it, like this sort of strange pattern in the clear plastic. That's pretty cool. Piece of bullshit to note is this section here, the chest piece, the robot mode chest piece, and that has got a pin just here, right? Now I know some other people might have spoken about this already, but this pin here does fuck all, right? You think that this could open up? It doesn't. It doesn't move. It doesn't unlock. It doesn't do anything. It's stuck in there. Now I know people. I've seen. I know people. I don't know people. I've seen that people have done something to this where they've managed to get this section open, but in doing so, they've irreversibly damaged the figure. And I'm not really into that. It's a shame that they didn't include that as a cheeky little nod to the G1. Really, considering that you've taken everything else from the G1 here. These need to be folded down. Like these little insect feet that don't do really fuck all, except their own thing. But look, I've hardly fucked around with him, and I'm moving him from side to side and things like that. And look at the state of it. It's not holding together at all. So maybe a couple of panels that would have flipped out at the back and just like sort of peg and port sort of thing, port and post, just like snap together would have been lovely. But no. I'll be honest with you. I kind of like this guy mostly for the robot mode, but I'm glad I didn't spend more than $12.99 on it, because if I'd have spent 25 quid on this or something when it first came out, I'd have felt a little bit cheated, to be perfectly honest, because as lovely as he is basically just, look, see what I mean? Fucking, look, I'm moving it around, that comes out to the side. It's mostly just an upscale G1 with a bit more articulation. It's nothing special. I like it. I like, but as I said, I like the robot mode more. But there's nothing really here which would have screamed more than $12.99 to me. So with these little things here, it took me ages to work out how to put these on. But you put these on in the wings with these like little tabs just here and here, and then there's a series of grooves in the wings where you can attach them at different lengths depending on your preference for where you want them to sit. So I'm just going to put them here. One plops in like that, and the other one I will put corresponding the same height just there. Okay. They don't do anything. They don't really. I mean, I guess the contrast for the clear plastic and the purple clear plastic is quite nice, but they don't really add anything to the figure for me. They're just like an extra thing there, which ultimately serve no purpose. Now you can plug these onto the arms in robot mode, but they don't quite fit the ports for my one. They are a little bit loose in the ports. But the cool thing is, I discovered this quite by accident as well. I don't know whether this is intentional. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But there's a little hole just here that if I plug his little Tommy gun into there, this version of Kickback actually has weapon storage. So that goes in his favour. That's a nice little way to store his gun in robot mode, in alt mode. But look, the back keeps fucking, no matter, I'm turning it around like that, the legs are collapsing in on themselves. It's really, really, really fucking annoying. And it shouldn't be really annoying, but it is. So, vodka and juice. But yeah, it's annoying as fuck. I wished this back section had together to stop this legs going off and fucking doing their own thing. But that's essentially the alt mode as you see it. It looks decent enough if it would just fucking stay in one place, right? And it's pissing me off that it's not doing that. So we're going to take it to robot mode and get this shit out of the way. So take these two things off. Take off the little Tommy gun off the bottom. We're going to start by collapsing these like that, and then fold that into the back of the leg. Do the same on the other side. So that's very similar to the original Kickback. Fold down these two purple tabs just here for the feet. Right, and that's your legs done, basically. Let's then extend this little bit just here. You can flip that round, and that reveals his hand. And then you collapse the whole thing together and bring it down. That forms the arm, okay? Same on the other side. Fold that round, collapse that together, and bring the arm down. And then the extra hidden bit of transformation, which the original didn't have, is there's a little... Hang on, where's my tweezers just here? And there's a little panel just here that you can flip that down like that. Lock that into the back. Turn the head round. Hang on, bring that up. Turn the head round like that, and decent face sculpt as well. Let's get that out of the way. Bring these wings up like that, and ladies and gentlemen, that is the overly complicated transformation for Legacy Kickback. And there he is. That is Kickback in his basic form. He's quite tall because of the wings. I mean, if you want, I mean, this is always an option with the G1 as well. If you want, you can just like sort of fold the wings underneath. But I kind of feel like Kickback's lacking something if you do that. So let's bring them up like that. Let's give them a little angle. Actually, yeah, fuck it, like that. That'll do. And in this mode, yeah, he looks like basically an upscale version of the original. I'm going to get the original here, and you can see what I'm on about. Now, obviously, my original is missing an antenna, but the transformation is very, very similar. Yeah, he's not breaking new ground. You see what I mean? He's not doing anything new. He just looks like a bigger version of the original, and I guess that's fine. I mean, I guess there's only so many ways, unless you did a Cybertronian Kickback. I'm not sure if a third-party company or Wolf Cybertron ever did that, but you know, a Cybertronian Kickback, I guess, could look a little different. But this here isn't breaking new ground whatsoever. So I'll do a comparison version when I eventually review G1 Kickback. These things, now, as I said, you can stick these on the wings, but I think in robot mode they're supposed to go on the arms like this. And you see what I mean? They are quite loose in those holes there. You can just put them up here. They're a little tighter there, but not by a massive amount. That just looks weird. I guess he can also hold them as if they're like some sort of laser sword. A cool addition, I guess. It gives you the playability options, but I mean, it doesn't really do anything for me. Let's give him his little Tommy gun. That's the thing about the original. The Tommy gun compared to the toy was quite big. A tiny little figure with a massive gun. The gun seems to be in slightly better proportion with the newer one, so that's decent enough. That's points there. And in terms of articulation, you know, I guess, you know, he's got the knees, his arms can go out, it does all the things it wants to do. If you want to bend the arm, this section here doesn't move. I guess, yeah, he can do all that sort of stuff. The dynamic posing sort of shit. Yeah, that's about it. Let's give him his whatever the fuck these things are supposed to be. So in terms of extra accessories, I guess it's cool that they added them. I personally think they add little to nothing to the figure. They just make the figure look more busy than he needs to be. If you want, you could actually just leave them on the wings. Let's try that. Let's try. Oh shit. Does that work? Yeah, not really. No, it's they kind of these things just fucking get in the way, really, as far as I'm concerned. So if I'm going to display Kickback in my shelf, I'm going to display him like this, and I'm going to just put these things in my parts box in the cupboard and not worry about them. In terms of like, let's talk about the head sculpt. The head sculpt is very, it's quite animation based, I think, actually. His face looks like it's got damage to it or something like that. I don't know whether that's a mold issue or whether is actually supposed to have that damage to his lip or something. I kind of like it. It gives him a little bit of character. The face is painted decent enough. Yeah, nice Decepticon symbol painted on. Again, as I said, the chest doesn't open, which I kind of feel is to his detriment. This was the first Legacy figure I bought. I bought him, and then I picked him up first, and then I got dragged through it. So I count him as the first Legacy figure I bought. And I appreciate he's now he's been out a year, but you know me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm always behind with the times. Yeah, I quite like him. I do. I like him mostly for the robot mode. The alt mode would be even better if the limbs didn't keep fucking flailing about and trying to do their own thing when you're actually trying to manipulate it in a certain position. The actual limbs and that, because they're not the tightest in the world, as you can see, they are just intent on doing whatever they want to do. So that's to the figure's detriment. All in all, though, he's actually quite cool. I like him. Would have actually liked to have seen just a little bit. Yeah, as I said, a couple of little extra steps. Those tabs in the legs just to pin the legs together would have been nice. He's not a complete failure, but he doesn't win the way you think he's supposed to. He's not as successful as you think he's supposed to. But having said that, he's not shit. So yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, that is my review for Legacy Kickback. I do hope you enjoyed this. I will be back next week with another review. I think I'm going to review a masterpiece because I'm going to start getting rid of my masterpiece boxes because they're taking up 2 shelves in my wardrobe and I can use it for other shit. So do join me next week for that. Until we see each other again, thank you for watching this, and I shall see you soon. Until then, take care.